Good afternoon, guys. Today's video is going to be in two parts. First part, I'm going to be talking about how to get yourself compost cheaply. And when you've got a lot of ground to cover or you've got a lot of raised beds to fill and mulch, that can be quite a challenge. So I'm going to show you how I've got a lot of compost for very cheap. Second part of this video is going to be about mulching beds, best practice, no dig versus digging in, etc. So yeah, let's get into it. So this 1 ton bag in front of me of pretty nice looking compost cost me £60. Now, when you go to a garden centre and you buy a bag of compost, it's about £8 a bag, which is a lot of money when you've got a lot of compost to gather. So how did I get this so cheap? Well, I went to my local council. So I'm here in Wiltshire, and Wiltshire Council they obviously collect green waste, and then they subcontract out the composting process to Hills. Now, Hills then subcontract the loose duffel bags, bulk bags of compost to local builders. So I was able to contact a local builder and ask to buy some green waste compost. Now, that's how I got this for a relatively good price. Now, lots of other councils did it. I checked out Somerset Council. They do the same thing, and they sell quite large 40-litre bags for about half the price of what you would pay in a garden centre. I think it was £4 or something, and they even do an offer of like 3 40-litre bags for £10, which in some places is about the same cost as one bag. So the big advice I'd go to today, if you've got a lot of area to cover, you've maybe got a lot of raised beds or you've got a lot of flower beds, is to go and get yourself some green waste compost from your local council. Now, some of you might be worrying about the quality of it, and that's probably fair to say. As I've been doing some sort of wheelbarrow runs, I've noticed some little bits of plastics and things, but nothing too bad. The worst thing I think with this compost is that some of the pieces are quite big, and I'll see if I come across one. But, when you're looking at the quality of the compost, and it kind of depends what you're using it for. If I was using this for like propagating seedlings, it's probably a bit too coarse, a bit too larger pieces. But if I'm using this, for example, mulching perennial flower beds, this stuff is perfect. So if you were going to use it for something like, seed starting or something like that, you're probably going to have to maybe sift it first just to break up some of the big clumps. But I don't see that there's a reason, that you can't use this for, pretty much multi-purpose. But, do let me know how you've got on in the comments, with your own sort of green waste compost, because this is my first time using this, and so far pretty impressed with the quality and very impressed with the price. Now, mulching raised beds is nothing complicated, but you want to annually, if you're doing something like no dig technique, you want to give about maybe 1 inch of coverage every year. So I'm probably looking maybe 3 wheelbarrow loads in this bed here, which is 8 foot by 4 foot, in order to get about the right coverage. And this provides nutrients for the year, as well as suppressing any weed growth, and also just improving the soil structure as well. And this is the only kind of form of fertilizer or sort of nutrient addition that I will do in these beds, because at the end of the day, if you're growing your own food, I think it's quite important to be sort of at least growing organically. Otherwise, it's not much different to buying stuff from the shops, really. Now, mulching raised beds is one thing, but mulching an established sort of herbaceous perennial border is a different thing entirely. So hence the gloves are on, because rather than just tipping it and spreading it, it's definitely worth applying a bit of care here and applying it around the plants, so you're not obscuring light from the plants. And also at the same time as putting the mulch down, do a bit of hand weeding at the same time. It's great to pull out some of these weeds that are coming up even in the winter months, so that you can sort of get on top of the weeding, get the new mulch down, and then you should be on to a sort of hopefully a weed-free year. So I hope you like this video. Unfortunately, compost is always going to be one of the bigger expenses of the year, but hopefully by contacting your local council, you can pick up some for a reasonable price. Don't forget as well with your raised beds, you want to be applying about maybe a 1-inch layer of compost, it's about 2 centimeters. And with your sort of herbaceous perennial beds where you've got established plants, just be careful when you're putting them around that you don't cover up anything you don't want to. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all soon for more videos.